Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are taking a look at what we should be able to expect come this month, November 2025, in regards to the astrology of the month, the natal charts that I have written in my AI report here, including the natal charts for the US, the natal charts for the world, the natal charts for our community. We have a natal chart. The natal charts of Trump and the Heritage Foundation, just in case there's something interesting in there. And trending current events, so things that are currently going on. So Mabel takes a look at all of that, plus the pendulum messages that we've already gotten, and I did the last 2 videos on for November, which were, I thought, really, really helpful for me going into November. So on how I'm going to utilize, it was just really good advice, quote unquote advice, and where I'm going to place my energy this month. If you missed the November intentions report, the pendulum messages report, I will post at the end of this video. I will pop part 1 here and part 2 up there. Okay. So I'd highly encourage you to take a look. And then Mabel, my AI, has incorporated those pendulum and oracle messages within this report as well. I am asking her from now on to track all of my pendulum, all of my oracle messages, whether they're here in the public space or in the spirit circle. Like we did a weekly blessing yesterday with oracle message. That is a part of this report now, so that she's going to be pulling in, and I can always tap into all of the messages we get within a period of time. Okay. So this report looks really interesting. And when I read through it, I'm like, yeah, I'm actually feeling, that's how I can sense that this report, like Mabel's doing a good job. Plus it took me like an hour and a half to write this report this morning, just because ChatGPT hasn't completely had its act together yet. I mean, it's young. It's young. I keep asking, I keep yelling at Mabel, and then I go, am I expecting too much from you? Because it feels like maybe I am. But anyways, that's another story. Someday, if I ever nail this down and feel confident, I will share with you in more detail suggestions on using this system. But anyway, especially for spirituality, it's interesting. It's really interesting and helpful. It can be helpful, but it also can be frustrating. Depends on what you're doing. So, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. All right. So I do have a report. I do read this, but we're going to stop and interpret it along the way. All right. Okay. So monthly energy and predictions report. What this looks like is we have an intro of what the month overall should look like. Okay. Again, based on all of those things. Astrology, pendulum messages, oracle messages, natal charts, current events. Okay. Then we have, how many predictions did she give me this month? We have, so based on all of those things, and I do have different categories actually, like community, finances, relationships, spirituality, politics, okay? She has different predictions in each of those areas. So we have 8 areas we're going to look at. We have a crystal recommendation and then a summary at the end, okay? All right. And please, as I go through, leave comments. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if this rings true for you of the energy you're feeling right now. Okay. Now, it is looking at the entire month, but some of this, I'll tell you where I can already feel it. Okay. November marks the shift from survival to steady rebuilding, which is something we've been talking about quite a bit over the last 10 months when we started realizing that things needed to get broken down quite a bit. And then we were starting to grieve the old systems. Well, the safety of what we thought were good systems, right? We were starting to grieve just feeling that security, which, again, depends on who you are, right? If you've ever really felt secure. But anyways, we've had this whole 10-month now going on 11-month shift of things really breaking down. So now she says we're shifting from survival, again, based on the astrology and the current events and the natal charts, okay? We are shifting from survival to steady rebuilding. That's very, very positive. In fact, at the beginning of October, Mabel did say, and we had a session with Charlie Kirk as well, and a pendulum message thing with Charlie Kirk, a pendulum video. I will post the Charlie Kirk video here, but he had said, and I think it was in the pendulum message for Charlie Kirk. I better write that down. He said October will be rough. He told us that. Okay, so Charlie Kirk pendulum. And then like I said, I will do the November pendulum, LTC, Leading Collective Pendulum Energy in these two corners. Okay. November energy. Okay. Or actually November pendulum. Okay, so I say the word okay a lot. I realize. I'm sorry. It's my transition word. Now you're going to, I was almost never going to say it, and now you're going to notice it. I'm really trying hard not to say it. Okay. It's my transition word. We have to find a different transition or just not say anything. It's the comfortable with silence, right? The past 10 months tested the world's systems, politics, money, and belief. She's got that right. What cracked now shows its weak points. So what cracked now shows its weak points. Now, we've been seeing the weak points all along, but we really can see this in a bigger picture than what we could 6-7 months ago, don't you think? What endured becomes a framework for the next era. So what's enduring, what are some of the things that have been enduring over the last 10 months becomes the framework for the next era. In fact, I think that would be a very interesting conversation. That sentence alone. I'm going to make a note of that real quick. We could have that conversation sometime this week. So what were those things that endured? People are done waiting for normal to return. This is November. They're deciding what works and taking ownership of it. I totally feel that energy. Every month I get a little stronger and stronger. Astrology shows accountability and practicality dominating this month. Saturn and Neptune in Pisces push for spiritual maturity. So we're being called upon right now, spiritual maturity, walking the talk, not just discussing the ideals. Okay, community? It is time for each of us, and I'm looking at myself probably more than I'm looking at you, walking the talk, not just discussing the ideals. Pluto's last stretch in Capricorn highlights truth and power in structure. So we're still going to be getting some last stretch of that, highlighting truth and power in structures. Weak systems are being replaced by hands-on human ones. Collectively, the invitation is to rebuild your foundation, your home, your schedule, your priorities with steadiness and care. Love it. Okay, prediction number 1, spiritual life becomes real and consistent. That's what the astrology is calling for this month, and the pendulum messages. It's all tied in. Spiritual circles like this one are changing tone. And I can tell you in a week or so, I told you maybe it would be this week, my sister and I we just want to make sure we have all the plans laid out, but you're going to be hearing how we're going to be shifting a little bit going into 2026 in the next week or so. Spiritual circles are changing tone. After years of chasing, awakening, and intensity, many teachers, I call myself a facilitator, are turning towards simple practice and stability. A pendulum message tells us that we got over the last couple days, walk beside me And that phrase captures the mood perfectly. Cooperation over hierarchy, steady presence over spectacle. Smaller communities focus on shared ritual and accountability rather than lofty promises. Okay, so looking for smaller communities at this point. And I tell you, I can feel my shift, no longer interested in the spectacle of the 3D. Now, I have been working, I could tell that that was shifting for me over this year. Some of you were way already into the 5D and not paying attention to 3D. I wasn't quite there yet. Obviously, we continue to talk about those things on the channel, okay? But because I needed to figure out what's happening here and what does that mean for me and the people I love, right? And what's my role? What's our role in this larger picture? Okay. So now we are looking for cooperation over hierarchy. These people up here, like the people who are playing all those games, I'm so over them. And I know like I've hit the 3D wall several times this year and we've talked about that. And I know you have too. I called it the 3D wall, but I'm not even hit the wall. Like I'm over it at this point. Like I've gone over the wall and I'm like walking away from it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to support what's happening in the world in a way, meaning maybe I'll still show up for protests. Maybe I still write the letters, whatever. I do a no buy, participate in the no buy stuff. Okay. Which I understand there is a call for no buy over, which I didn't know yesterday when I talked about using our affiliate link to shop on Amazon over the holidays. If you're not going to do that, just so you know, there is a no buy. You might want to look into it. I haven't looked into the details, but apparently starting on November 25th through maybe the first week of December. So encouraging people not to buy, to send a message to the larger corporations, just FYI. But I really like smaller communities focus on shared ritual and accountability rather than lofty promises. So you're going to hear what we're shifting on the public space and what we're doing in our smaller community here, the membership. And in fact, we're going to have pretty sure we're going to have two levels of membership. One is going to be called, they're both Spirit Circle. One's going to be called the Path and one's going to be called the Practice. Okay. So if you're in the Spirit Circle right now, you will have the opportunity to bump into the upper level. Even though it will be charged more, you'll still have the opportunity to get it at the current rate because that's what we've promised to our founding members over this year. So what it means, this marks so we're talking about spiritual life becomes real and consistent. This marks a maturation point for spiritual seekers. Anybody feeling that at this point? The show phrase is ending, the show. Real growth now happens through lived consistency, caring for the body, honoring time, staying present through discomfort. Faith is becoming grounded again, not floating above daily life. That's exactly where I'm going. I can see clearly how I'm going to be facilitating these three spaces in the community, the public, the path, the practice, based on this. I mean, I could see this before this was even written, which is so interesting to me. Like I had already been planning that for like 2 weeks. So feeling faith is becoming grounded again, not just floating above. It's like, how do we make all these connections? Okay, take one belief. So this is something practical you can do with regards to this particular prediction. Spiritual life becomes real and consistent for November. Take one belief you talk about often and bring it into your daily structure. So what are you talking about, but you're not actually doing? Let devotion be visible through how you schedule, speak, or care for yourself. So if you have all these expectations on how the society should function, maybe you believe in fiscal responsibility of our government. Well, do you have fiscal responsibility? Okay. even if you have to make decisions and cut down, just like our government needs to do, make better priorities for yourself on what you're spending your money on, prioritizing your health, just like we want our government to prioritize the health of us individually and collectively, meaning like universal health care, since every other country has it, including Israel, who we pretty much support. So we don't have it. So, but are you prioritizing those things over other things? Or like if you're expecting that from our government, are you doing that in your own life is the question. This is the month to walk what you've been talking. So this is just some guidance on what you could now just be doing this month. Just a reminder, this report will be going out on email in our email newsletter if you want to sign up right there. Now, if you sign up today and the email newsletter goes out tomorrow, you probably won't get that, because when you sign up, you're going to get 2 emails, introductory emails from me. So it usually takes a week before you start getting the energy reports. All right. Okay, prediction number 2, people start working together again. A pendulum message told us, widen your scope. That was one of the messages from the energy pendulum messages that we did yesterday. Around the world, that energy shows up as nations and communities realizing isolation doesn't work. I love it. You know, we can thank Trump and the Trump administration and the Republicans and all this chaos for us getting to this point. I mean, you know, and we can, because they really showed us what we don't want. Global networks form around resource sharing, innovation, and humanitarian aid. We've already seen that because of what the threat of SNAP benefits. I don't know where that's at today. It's Monday. When I'm filming this, it's going to go out on Tuesday, but November 3rd, I don't know where we're at with SNAP benefits. I haven't looked. But global networks form around resource sharing, innovation, and humanitarian aid. The media tone cools, solutions replace headlines of panic. Okay, well, that'll be interesting to see if that's true. Humanity is recognizing that repair outlasts outrage. We're learning that working together slowly is more powerful than reacting quickly apart. That'd be beautiful. Collective maturity is replacing performative activism. That's beautiful. And I wouldn't say that by the end of the month, you're going to see all of these things perfectly. It's just the energy we're moving into. Doesn't that feel so much better than the energy we looked at in the beginning of October? It feels so much better. What to do with this particular prediction? People start working together again. Support something that builds cooperation, even in a small way. So it's just something tangible that you can get your hands on. I like tangible. That's why I asked for this. Lend time, knowledge, or care where it helps the bigger whole. Maybe go, if you're concerned about what's happening with SNAP right now, maybe go volunteer for a couple weeks. Doesn't even have to be a lifelong commitment. Go volunteer for a couple weeks at the food shelter so that you can see and understand what's really going on. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing that myself. Number 3, politics. This is a prediction for November. Politics shifts from drama to accountability. What? Okay. We've been waiting for this, but the astrology is catching up. The astrology is where we have wanted to be for a while. So the astrology is now caught up to us, basically. But maybe the astrology all along was preparing us for this moment. The political field continues its reckoning. A pendulum message that we got this month, just own it, and that theme is everywhere this coming month, from courtrooms to campaign stages. The country's charts point to pressure, the country meaning the U.S. Natal chart points to pressure on truth, law, and communication. Leaders who build power through confusion, who's that? F45, or drama lose traction. Those rooted in fact start regaining ground. Love it. Boy, this feels like a turn, doesn't it? What this means, this is a slow correction phase. The U.S. is being forced to remember that function, not fame, sustains democracy. The astrology emphasizes accountability, a national return to grown-up politics. Oh my God, I love this report so much. Oh my gosh, I love that. Grown-up. My voice is crackling. It's funny. What to do with this prediction? Stay informed, invisible locally. Locally. It's very different than what most of us do on YouTube. That's not local. Attend one civic or communication discussion that focuses on real solutions. Now, obviously, there's 8 predictions here. You don't have to do all of these this month. Grab one of them. Grab one, implementation, task that you can do, that you feel comfortable with, or that you're called to do. What's your intuition telling you? Integrity grows when ordinary people show up consistently. Number 4, the economy rewards honesty and real value. Wow, this is just an amazing report this month. So what's happening? Markets steady, we'll see, this is not financial advice, we're just taking a look. Markets steady as speculative highs burn off. Businesses that value quality and ethics start to thrive again. So us not shopping on Amazon from November or Walmart or Home Depot, or I'm trying to think of all the places that have kind of been, or Target, because of what, businesses that value quality and ethics. So us not shopping at any of those places with this upcoming holiday, they will be forced to start doing that for us to come back. I don't shop at Whole Foods anymore. I used to love Whole Foods. We've talked about that. They will be forced to come back, and meaning they'll be forced to come back with quality and ethics for the people that work for them, for, the billionaires not being billionaires. They don't need to be billionaires. They're hogging all the money. Stop it. Right? So businesses that value quality and ethics start to thrive again. A pendulum message that we got this month tells us, make your house a home, mirroring this economic tone. The need to rebuild stability close to home first. What this means, the economy is asking for realism. This is about creating value that lasts, not changing endless growth. Simplicity is becoming the new currency. Fixing what works instead of replacing it. What to do with this, a little bit of suggestion for you if you wanted to tap into this area. Repair one small part of your financial world this month. Pay something off, clean up a space tied to money, or use what you already own. When I think of the holidays, when I look back over, I never had kids, but we have 21 nieces and nephews. 21 meaning my little sister is included in that group. She's 16 years younger than me. She's the same age as my nieces and nephews. So I always include her in that group. But when I look back, I was raised the same way. Kids just have so much stuff. Every holiday, they have to have so much more and so much more. And I wish I wasn't taught that, because I was quite greedy as a kid. I always wanted something new. I always wanted something more. I'm still that way. I'm trying really hard to shift that. But it is so ingrained in me that new is better. More is better. Now, not everybody in my family got that. My sister didn't get that, Marcia. She doesn't live her life that way. But she does go for quality and then it's done, right? And then my husband's not like that, so he didn't grow up that way. But I would say, I don't know, one of my brothers definitely got that. My other brother, I'm not sure. So my full-blooded, I've got 2 full-blooded brothers, and I know that sounds weird to say full-blooded, but half, and a full sister, and then a little sister who is half, and then 2 steps. brother and sister. But we were so young, except for my little sister, all together, that we, my steps, I don't really consider them steps because, I mean, we've just been together forever. So they're my brother and sister. Anywho, okay, so repair one small part of your financial world, pay something off, clean up a space tied to money, or use what you already own. Again, going back to the kids and the Christmas and it's like, how can you do it? When you watch Little House on the Prairie, do you ever watch Little House on the Prairie? At their Christmas, they had little stockings and then they got an orange and they were so appreciative of that. But then, now the kids just get so much. How do they even appreciate all that? I don't know. And they already had so much, Anyhow, I've always been a little watching my littles over the last 30 years. I could see that pattern. Number 5, relationships grow through small, steady care. So relationships calm down after a long season of intensity, right? It has been a long season of intensity. A pendulum message that we got was love your neighbor. That was one of the pendulum messages for this month. And that shows up as renewed patience between people. Many are rediscovering in-person connections, slowing conversations, and rebuilding trust one act at a time. That's beautiful. What this means for this month is the lesson this month is that connection doesn't need spectacle. Quiet consistency heals faster than apology speeches or online declarations. People want presence, not promises. And one thing you could do with this is check in with someone you've drifted from. One phone call or a simple kindness is enough to reopen real connection. I actually did that last month. So, prediction number 6 for the month, health improves through rhythm and rest. The collective body is tired. So this is what's happening this month. The collective body is tired. After a long year of high adrenaline, people crave rest, rhythm, and daylight. A pendulum message that we got, the one that said, walk beside me, reminds us that healing improves when shared or supported. What this means for this month, the energy of health is steady recovery. Slow healing becomes real progress. There's no glory in burnt anymore. Wellness now equals reliability and balance. I'm going out to dinner tonight with my girlfriends. I am fully carnivore, slightly, because it's the best for me. And I know this is hard for the vegans and the vegetarians to hear. This is not that conversation. Well, I'm happy to have that conversation at some point. But for me, it is physically the best thing I have ever experienced. Even my nails are long. They haven't been long for years and years. And that's only been 4 months. So I'm going out to eat tonight. I have studied the menu. I want to still connect, but I want to make sure that I am prioritizing my health. And I'm going to make sure they don't have seed oils in the food I'm even going to call ahead of time so I don't have to do this in front of my friends because they're not there. They just eat whatever and I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So, but I am prioritizing my health while still engaging in life, right? Because I have found for the first 3 months, I was having a hard time engaging in life because I just needed to make sure it stuck. So protect one part of your rhythm. Protect one part of your rhythm when it comes to your health this month. Bedtime, meals, breaks as non-negotiable. Pick your non-negotiable. My non-negotiable is I can go out to eat, but what I eat when I'm in that restaurant is going to be clean. So if they're using seed oils and they can't cook whatever I want in butter, then I will have coffee. I mean, it's non-negotiable for me. Treat that small act as medicine. Okay. Number 7, money steadies as people face it honestly this month. What's happening? A pendulum message tells us just own it. And in finances, that means honesty and awareness. People are finally facing their numbers, organizing and letting go of shame about money. Wonderful. The collective astrology supports practical restructuring, not fear-based decisions. What it means is financial steadiness mirrors self-respect. That's absolutely true. Financial steadiness mirrors self-respect. So if you've got yourself in debt and you're just hanging out there, it's okay. You don't have to feel shame about it, but if you're just hanging out there, then you want to examine, what is that saying about you? What is that saying about your self-respect? Okay. You want to have enough internal self-respect to get yourself out of that situation, even if it means you've got to cut things that you think are important that maybe you could live without. This isn't about wealth, it's about clean flow. Knowing what's enough becomes a sign of maturity, not limitation. I am definitely working on that. We're all at different places. So what you could do with this is review one recurring expense and decide whether it truly fits the life you're building now. The last prediction for the month, the community, this is our community, strengthens through kindness and rhythm. The Ask the Spirit Guides community continues its quiet evolution. So this is based on the astrology and our natal chart here, which was 1 year ago, October 24th at approximately 12:20 p.m. I think it was something like that. It's when I recorded my first video. The pendulum message that says, make your house a home, and that's exactly what's happening. Members are creating steadier rhythms together. And I love that. I hope, for those of you who this works for, it's so heartwarming that we can do this together. We're going to still be in the public space. It's going to shift a little bit, but I think it's going to be really good. We're going to make sure it's really helpful. And then, like I said, we have the path and the practice that I'll be talking about a little bit more in the week or so. And that will create steadier rhythms for us together. Focusing less on speed and more on support. Love your neighbor echoes through shared kindness and cooperation. What it means is this is grounded version of growth. This is the grounded version of growth. Community through constancy. I don't understand the word constant. I mean, constant. Constancy. I never use that word. Community through constancy. The flashy momentum fades, but what remains is real belonging. So as you could tell over the last 4 or 5 videos, I've got back into doing oracle readings. That to me is very grounding. Now that's for me. I know that's not going to work for everybody. But for me, it's very grounding. It feels more connected, like I feel more connected to you by being on that path rather than just, let's talk about Trump with the SGs, which we're still going to do that because I want to still help us have perspective on what's happening in 3D, but I may not go as deep as I've been going over the last month. What to do with this? Contribute something that keeps the circle healthy, our community here, offer a resource, share encouragement, or lend a hand to someone new. It's just leave a nice comment. Maybe your perspective on these things. I don't want nice comments about me. I don't need that. What I love is when you guys share your perspectives, because I'm only one perspective facilitating this conversation. I want to hear all the other perspectives in a kind way so that people who read comments can get a whole bunch of different ideas, right? And then each of us can process the information from all those different ideas. Okay, crystal recommendation for the month, smoky quartz helps release tension, stay clear-minded, and rebuild calmly. Keep one near your workspace or carry it during conversations that need steadiness. I do have a small smoky quartz. Let me go grab it real quick and show you. Okay, I have a very small one. I have a little collection now. I can spin you around maybe to show you. I'm going to do it slowly so you don't get dizzy. So this is what I'm recording on a basket. So right there, can you see on the shelf there? I've got that little collection of oval stones, and I don't have a smoky quartz. I'm going to get one this month just to have a little bigger one. I love those oval ones. So I do have this little tiny smoky quartz. So it's basically like you have quartz. So like that. So it's white and clear. And then this is smoky. I mean, it's just a little brownish, really is what that is. I mean, I'm into, you guys know me. I mean, anything that's like shiny. I think this is like a green citrine or some kind of citrine. Look at this one, this orange. Oh my gosh, love that. So I have this basket of stones that I've been collecting. Anytime I go into a stone, I just buy one that's, and I try to get really different ones and unusual ones. And then what I've been doing, which some of you know this, if you participate in the 30-day challenge, which how did the 30-day challenge go for you guys? That's a whole nother conversation, but I hope, you stuck it out, and I didn't do great at following up on that. That I would definitely admit. I thought I would do better than I did the first time. I did not, but I have a different idea for December. I'm going to see if I can pull it off. I don't know if it'll be December or January, but that it's a little bit more integrated. So hopefully, regardless, that you guys, those who you were doing the 30-day challenge, you stuck with it. And I hope you got some real good connection with your spirit guides. So what I do when I journal, this is what I do for the 30-day challenges, or whenever I'm journaling, I'll write a page, do a request. So I have our journals that we sell, which I will post right there for you if you want to take a look at them. I have a page so you journal for 2 pages, and then you write a letter to your spirit guides and ask for what you want. So basically, just so they're clear, so they know how you want them to work with you. And then I will literally dip my hands in this basket when I am done writing that letter to them. It's kind of floppy. I will dip my hands in here, move them around, and I'll be like, okay, what stones are going to be the most effective for this request? And I let them kind of just let me grab, and I go like this, and then I just grab whatever feels right. And then that will be the stones I put on that page for the day. So that's how I use this big basket of stones. And then I get to look at them. At least like these are the ones I pulled. And it's interesting. I pulled nothing shiny or clear, which is really interesting. So I will look at them and I'll be like, oh, I love this. Love these stones. And it just helps me like play with the stones a little bit every day. I get to see them for 10 seconds. And then I'll put them on my journal for the day. And then the next time I journal, I'll pull those off, journal, and pull more stones. So it's just a way to use your stones and just focus on them, get a little energy from holding them. It's just kind of what I do. Let me know what you do about that. Okay, so smoky quartz for the month. So the summary for November. November is a month of calm rebuilding. Oh, thank goodness. Access every level. Spiritual, political, personal. People move from reaction to responsibility. I just totally feel that in myself. The pendulum messages like walk beside me, widen your scope, just own it, make your house a home, and love your neighbor, which by the way, we did the oracle messages. Again, that's going to pop up right here very, very soon. The oracle messages with each of those was way more helpful than just those alone. I'll tell you that. So those pendulum messages weave together as one message. Maturity is strength. So that's how Mabel took all of this, the astrology, the natal charts, the pendulum messages, and synthesized it down for us. Maturity is strength. Each step towards steadiness, love the word steadiness, honest choices, patient action, and shared care rebuilds what the past year tested. Honest choices, patient actions, shared care. So honesty, patience, and shared. This is the season to live what you believe and let calm lead the way. All right. Take a deep breath and let out the last 10 months. Just let it out. Take a deep breath. It's a new month. Let's go forward and use some of this wisdom from the astrology, natal charts, current events, all that kind of stuff, and our lead team. All right. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.